Oh, Hank just joined too. Okay. All right. Well, Hank, if you're on, I'll call you in a second. But hold on. I'm going to see if the Galaxy Electric is ready. And if they are, I'm going to call them. Yeah, I feel like I need like an assistant here to do that part. But I can't even pay myself right now. So let's call the Galaxy Electric. And give me a thumbs up, somebody in the stream, if you can hear the Skype. Any one of you, if you can hear that ringing.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great.
How's it going?
Good.
Hi.
We got the Galaxy Electric on. I'm just waiting really quick to make sure that the people watching can hear you on the stream, making sure that the technicals are okay. So somebody give me a thumbs up. All right, I only know you as the Galaxy Electric. So can you guys introduce yourselves individually?
That is
Sure. My name is Augustus.
And I'm Jacqueline.
Augustus and Jacqueline, those are both really cool names, I gotta say. You know, if you would have been like Tom and Stacy, I would have been like, cool. But Augustus and Jacqueline, I like that. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. I heard you guys were having some crappy weather.
Yeah. It's I mean, the funny thing about Seattle snow is if you are financially sound and you can afford a week off of work, people really like it because the city kind of shuts down. But if you can't, it's a very, very stressful and frustrating time. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I'm keeping myself busy doing shit like this. So, yeah, where are you at?
We are in northern Indiana.
Northern Indiana. Okay.
But we've lived all over the place. We lived in LA for a while. We most recently lived in Brooklyn, but we settled down in the Midwest because we wanted to buy a home.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's probably where you have to go to afford it these days, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
on a modular synthesis budget. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I want a Buchla or do I want a home? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the question.
It's been the struggle.
I'm just going to hold on one second, just really quick. I'm just going to turn this up.
Do I want a Buchla or do I want a home?
Now you're hearing this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you guys are coming through. No one answered me on the stream, so I just had to make sure. I didn't want to sit here and have a conversation with myself and look like a weirdo. Is there a specific thing you wanted to talk about, ask about, or did you just want to call in and say hi? I don't want to hijack your time.
Yeah, I mean, I had something in particular that I wanted to ask of either you or anybody listening, and that's that, if you patch a lot, right? Like if you patch your modular synthesizer a lot, especially like from doing improv, or playing live shows, performing, do you find yourself sort of gravitating toward some of the same moves initially?
Absolutely.
With the same modules and you get like this certain sound happening and then then you can kind of continue on with the rest of it. And if so, how do you break the monotony? I know, doing something like a patch challenge, could be a help in that department, but kind of
like fresh on our minds, I guess.
Kind of opening the question.
I have two suggestions that I use, but they don't work for everybody. In fact, Bana Hefar doesn't like one of them. But we talked about it on the live show we did, and she was like, I don't know about that, but it works for me. So the first thing I would do, which is going to be way less arduous than my second thing, is write down on a little piece of paper every individual pieces of paper what modules are in your system, and then put those in a hat and practice doing like 3 or 4 max patches with just the modules that you pulled out of the hat. And if there's one that you feel like you're like really particularly leaning towards, maybe don't put that one in the hat, and then just do that. Like maybe try to create an exercise where you do that a couple times a week, and then you definitely get to know your modules a lot better in that way. And then something else I do, and I don't know, I know you do Buchla, and I don't know how easy this would be for you, but sometimes I just rearrange my case, and it takes a really long time. But since I got this Needham Woodworks case that's really big, I put my maths on like the 4th row, so it's like pretty high, and I still use it. I still go to it when I need. But I find that I go to it more deliberately rather than out of habit. So it's not like the starting point of every patch now, and I think it's just because it's not right in my line of sight when I sit down. So those are my suggestions, but if anybody listening wants to throw some on the chat there, I would be glad to parrot those for you.
Yeah, I mean, my problem's not usually, that I ignore, certain modules. Like I have a pretty small setup, but more just that, like, for example, I might gravitate toward, like kind of like a lower frequency pulse, like, to start with, and then like, I'll move on from there. And like, I like want to, like, I feel myself doing it sometimes, and I'm just like, no, why do you have to go pulse first?
No, I'm the same way with filters. If there's multiple outputs, I go straight for the low pass. I'm like always like, I really like soft rounded sounds, I guess, but.
Yeah. So, but no, that's a cool idea. Actually, we were discussing this the other day. This is kind of where it came from. We were discussing over dinner, like how do we keep it fresh? Like what's what are some things that we can do to kind of keep it fresh? And one thing we came up with was to, like actually the patch challenge was kind of like an example of how we want to move forward with this, but basically to take, like an improv session and just use, limit it to a couple modules or a couple pieces of other equipment. Like I have a field kit and some stuff like that. Like I like getting like found sound manipulation, like contact mics, field recording, stuff like that. But basically just take like a theme of a few pieces of gear and do an improv session with just that. And
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. But I found it really challenging because like I usually have like a touch plate, like from the music easel that I use. And I did not use that when we did the challenge. And it was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to,
it's like a muscle memory thing or like habit stuff.
To keep things interesting.
To like shake it up.
I mean, okay, so I watched your guys' live stream yesterday, and thank you for doing that, by the way. It was really cool. Also, that reminds me, I don't know if you still have the video, but I was going to tell everybody, because I got somebody, Sam Chittenden, made that little patch challenge generator, and anybody can access it. And for January, if anybody wants to do like the PodMod patch challenge thing and upload it to their YouTube, I want to make a playlist on my YouTube channel of everybody else out there who does it, so I can like have an aggregator, so if people come to my page, they can see all your stuff. So that's just an aside there. But I watched your live stream, and it seems like you two have your specific jobs. Jacqueline, you cover vocals and some key stuff, and I see you've got two Space Echoes, I think. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you guys maybe thought about just like trading places and seeing what happens?
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
No, I think we're very like deeply ingrained in like even just like the way we are set up, where we stand, like in the room, all that kind of stuff. Like you were talking about moving things around in your case, like that does something to your brain. It's so weird how it's such a cool thing to like, we moved our stuff into another room to do that patch challenge last night. And I was like, this feels weird.
Right? I just moved into the corner here. I literally just moved my stuff like 4 feet to the left, but we rearranged everything else. And I feel so much better. And it invites me in to interact with it more. So definitely your setting is huge. Me and my friend, my good buddy who I like started recording and playing music with really young, when we'd get together to like record, we would, and this was his idea, and I thought it was crazy at first, but we'd like totally tidy up the entire room and just like clean it and make it look really nice. And we just felt, it just makes you want to be in there more. So even that kind of stuff can help.
Yeah, that's a good one. Absolutely. Because you're like almost like setting the intention for yourself
Well,
going into that space.
Yeah.
Jacqueline also has a little Buchla set up as well that, we should trade rigs,
Ooh,
trade
now he
modular
wants
rigs.
to trade.
Now
Yeah, like-
here's what you got to avoid though when you do, or try to be cognizant of. I mean, I don't know you guys very well. I don't know you personally at all, really. But something that I would have to keep in mind, I think it's just kind of the musician brain, is as you guys, if you do the swapping, try not to like kind of look over each other's shoulder and be like, well, I'd do it this way, because the whole point is to trade spots. But I think it would be pretty tempting to like watch, someone else patching your system and like, hey, maybe try this. Try to avoid doing that. That could be, I don't know.
That definitely falls to that arrangement.
What's that?
There would need to be some guidelines.
Definitely,
for sure.
yeah. And I think it would be an exercise in acceptance and relinquishing control a little bit, which is always pretty good for the spirit, right?
Oh yeah, this is some marriage stuff too.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you. So you guys are married? I imagine that after you said you bought a house.
Oh yeah, we are.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate you guys calling in. I got a bunch of people on. I'm still trying to figure this out. This feels really short to me, and I don't want to be like, all right, thanks, bye. I want to keep talking, but I also want to give everybody else a chance. So this whole call-in thing is going to be an experiment. But before we get off, I want you guys to, if you have any final thoughts, and then of course plug everything that you want to guide people to.
Well, thanks for all the challenges. I'm excited to, the patch challenge last night that we did was like so outside our comfort zone, which was great. And the idea of like swapping gear sounds like a really good challenge that I'm resisting. So that means I should do it.
Yeah, that's a good sign. If you're like, I don't want to do that, then that means you should do it.
She doesn't want me using her 259 oscillator.
Just don't drink any coffee or eat anything sticky while you're playing with it.
Yeah, so we're very encouraged by these challenges. It's going to be good for us to shake things up. So thanks.
Yeah, you should live stream that if you decide to do it.
Yeah, I think we will. And speaking of, you were saying about the YouTube playlist thing, we generally put things on YouTube, so we will put that one up.
Sweet. Yes. So when you do that, whenever, and just to anybody else out there who does that, make sure that you send me an email or a message or something with the link, and then I can just go and add it really quick. I'm really bad at remembering stuff, so if I need you to send me the message, and then I'll just do it right away. So.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll probably be, I don't know when, in the next couple of days or so, we'll probably put it up.
I think we lost audio.
Cool. Oh, really?
I don't know. There's maybe a delay or something, but
okay.
Never mind.
I think we're all here. But anyway, yeah, this was good. I think you're doing a great job with the call-in thing.
Thank you.
So don't worry about the time and stuff. I don't feel cut off or anything like that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, that was my big worry going into it. I was like, I want to make sure that I can get to everybody and have it be, because that's the whole point, right? It's just to enjoy the experience. So where should people go to check your stuff out?
Well, anybody who's on Instagram right now, we're on Instagram as well as the Galaxy Electric. If that's the preferred, I think the modular community is very heavily on Instagram more than anything.
Definitely.
And YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of that, the Galaxy Electric, galaxyelectric.com. If you remember the Galaxy Electric, you'll find us for sure everywhere.
Awesome.
Under that name.
Well, thank you guys so much, Augustus and Jacqueline from the Galaxy Electric, for calling in, and please go check their stuff out. And their live streams are a lot of fun. Yeah, and you guys, jump in line when I do that. I'm going to try to do this regularly, so I'm not opposed to, multiple time callers. So
yeah, one last little plug. We have a Facebook group that we do kind of like our own little conversations on, called the Cosmic Tape Music Club.
Oh, cool.
It's about early electronic music from the space age era inspired early electronic music, tape musicians, and we do a little conversational piece about these early electronic musicians. So
awesome. That sounds cool.
Facebook.
I think I saw that. You guys have a link tree in your bio on Instagram that brings you to all of your stuff, right? I remember opening it yesterday.
That's a great place to check it out.
Okay,
For
cool.
sure.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. Woo. That was fun. Hey, Hank, I see you're on there. I saw your message. I'm still trying to figure this out. But Hank, I'm going to call you right now, so I hope you're ready. I don't know if you saw, I'm trying to limit the calls to 10 minutes apiece so I can get to everybody as well. But let's see if Hank's going to answer the phone.
Yellow.
Hank Yates, Mousy Magazine. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing so. Your voice sounds so amazing right now. I think the new microphone or the mustache is really, really putting some stank on.
I mean, I don't want to take any credit away from my wife because she bought me this microphone for Christmas, but ever since I got the mustache, it has sounded much richer and deeper and more sultry.
Right. I want you to read to me, actually, if you could start reading.
The one thing, my only complaint with his mic is I've got the input level pinned. I don't. It's kind of quiet, so I need to get like an inline boost. And once I get that, it's gonna be off to the races. But hey, how's NOLA? How's Louisiana doing?
It's very warm. I've been wearing shorts all week.
Really?
So, yeah. Global warming. It's a thing, right?
Yeah, that's the exact opposite of us. It's been snowing today. Actually, it's sunny right now. It's the first time I've seen the sun in a while. But yeah, it's been, all my night classes have been canceled this week, which kind of sucks. So yeah, what's new with you, man?
Yeah, very cool. Nothing, like not too much. I'm kind of like cursing your name because you make me really want to get a chainsaw. I can't stop thinking about it. So
you should just get one.
Okay. I know. I should just like pull the Band-Aid off and just go ahead and get one. You're right. Because when you told me about it, I went to Patchworks and they had one, and I was like this close to getting it, but I didn't want it to be an impulse buy. And so like since I've kind of been ruminating about it since then, I'm just like, okay, you should probably. It's not an impulse buy at this point. It's actually serves a purpose.
So when I got it, I wouldn't recommend it to absolutely everybody. There are people that I mean, I think Eric Schlappy could do cool things with it, but judging just by seeing him play live, it wouldn't be the thing but just after hearing your album, your latest record, and just kind of watching you when we did that live podcast at Disco Obscura in New Orleans, which is almost a year ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Just when you came over to visit, it kind of just like clicked in my brain. I was like, oh, Hank would make really good use of this.
Yeah. So the deal. Okay. So one of the things that since, so for my new album, I've been composing a string quartet, and, it's basically, you have four voices. I don't want to say that it's been easy, but it's been like easier than I thought it would be, because it's just like, if you just think of like each like instrument as like an oscillator, right? And then it's just kind of as this, I think they call them tone poems, where you just kind of like cycle through chords, and chord progressions. That's been working really well. And I've been doing all that with like MIDI because I have to transfer it to sheet music so the players can have it. But the chainsaw like makes me want to have like a similar setup for polyphony that can fit in my case, because my case is really small.
Oh yeah, and it's what, 4 HP, I think it's
right. And it's narrow enough to like to fit in, and anyways, and there you go. Like I have three voices and I have a teletype too, and so I think those things would just be bread and butter. So anyways, it's happening.
Really quick, you're not going to hear it because you're on it. For some reason, the Skype won't hear it, but the people on the stream will hear it. Behind me, I've been working on a patch with Chainsaw all morning because I'm trying to record a piece. So I'm just going to play a little thing to show it for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, because it is, it's not quartet stuff because there's only 3 volt per octave inputs, but it has that feel to it. So
right.
Of course, I've got it like going through a bunch of VCAs and stuff. So
right.
So sorry about this. And also, while we're taking this little break, I want to say hi to Ben. DivKid is on the stream. How you doing, buddy? If you want to call in, send me a little message on Skype. I'm on PodMod Skype now, though. So people listening, if you can hear that, that voice is all Chainsaw. Okay, that's good enough. But well, so I guess I'll say sorry and you're welcome then, Hank.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's ultimately a good thing.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say is if Ben can hear me, like, you're my hero, and like, I think it's like so cool that I just wish I was your friend. That's all I want to say.
Well, I can speak from experience as becoming his friend. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Just kidding, Ben. I know he's so great. It's been pretty cool to have Ben be, start as kind of a mentor and just kind of evolve into a mentor / confidant friend. We're kind of in a similar thing. Of course, he's Div Kid, so I'm definitely not putting myself in with him. But it's been pretty cool, and I've said it a million times, but the way he conducts himself within the scene as a figurehead of it is about as gracefully and graciously as you could. So yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, very cool.
What else?
But I can hop off if you want to give other people more time. I have no problem.
I've got
I'll make it easier on you.
Well, we're a couple minutes in. Let's well, first off, okay. I just want to say, I've said it on the show, but if in case anybody watching the live stream right now didn't listen to your episode or hasn't heard me talk about it, your album that you released last year, Life of a Leaf, it was one of my favorite albums of the year, and it's tremendous. It's big, and it's modest at times, and it's just very, very moving. So anybody listening, please go check out Mousy Magazine on Bandcamp. But are you working on anything? Like, I guess you kind of just talked about it a little bit, but what do we have in store?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much. And I just wanted to tell you, I've actually been listening to your album all morning. And
thanks.
I've absolutely loved it. It's great programming music, and I always need more of that, for the day job.
Cool.
So I am working on, and as I mentioned in the show, my daughter died in May of last year. She was stillborn at 22 weeks, and so I've been working on her requiem. And one of the things that came out of it what happened to me and my wife was without a doubt the saddest thing that I've ever experienced, and I think can happen to a person. And so whenever I was trying to articulate that with music, I was thinking, like, what's the saddest sound? How sad can we go here? And I just think of like strings in a string quartet. And I thought of Samuel Barber's Agnes or Adagio for Strings. That quartet, if you're familiar with it. I was just like, that's the saddest piece of music I've ever heard. And so that was I kind of worked backwards from there of just like, that's going to be, the finale is going to be this string quartet piece that, is just fully intended to make you cry, and has honestly been a very accurate kind of depiction of like the emotions. A lot of the emotions me and my wife felt. Like, it's kind of hard to get through it because, like, especially like towards the end, I'll start crying every time because it puts me, right back there in those moments, which is good for grief. Like, like being sad and engaging with that has been, it's been so good. And so anyways, but yeah, that's what I'm working. That's what I'm working on.
Well, I look forward to hearing that. I mean, I definitely got emotional from your last album, and I imagine it's going to be a little bit more intense this time. But I'm working on a piece. I've made a few pieces lately, and one that I named the sequence "Just So Sad," and it's a chainsaw thing because it's just like, this is exactly how I feel right now. And I'm actually coming out. I've been feeling pretty good for the last probably a week and a half, but yeah, and so I know what you mean with like listening to it. I was kind of like getting a little like welled up, not because I make such beautiful music, but it was just so, I found the thing that I was feeling.
Right.
And
right.
And if you can tap into that, that's the sweet spot, man. You're making use of of the the negative or the bad parts of existence. So yeah, man, we really took it on a little bright trail there, didn't we?
I tend to do that. Sorry, like that's what hanging out with me is like. Is it's going to end up with someone close to me dying. So sorry about that.
Well, in that case, I better stop talking to you. I don't want to.
It'll get better. I mean, I think eventually people will stop dying around me, or maybe not. I don't know. But you know, things will get more chipper.
It's the circle of life. But yeah, no, you definitely got put through the ringer. So I wish you and your wife, I hope you guys get a nice, lull in sorrow for a bit and get to enjoy life. And yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. And then what is it? It's just mousiemagazine.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, that works. And I'm just Mousy Magazine on Instagram as well. Both of those places are good.
Awesome. And if you want to learn more and hear Hank's full story, you were a guest on the show a few months ago, and then a year ago you were also a guest on the live performance in New Orleans. So for those of you who are sad that I'm hanging up with Hank, there's more Hank out there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
All right, it's good to talk to you, buddy. I'm gonna
good to talk to you.
I'm gonna message you after this, and if you don't hear from me today, remind me because I want to talk to you about something off air.
Yeah, please do.
All right, buddy.
Cool.
Later.
Bye.
All right, this is fun. I like doing this. All right, DP. I don't know if DP's on. Says he's on. I don't know who DP is, but I'm gonna call DP. My brother-in-law joined right as we were talking about the saddest shit. That's all right, Steven. We're gonna bring it up. DP, where are you at? I gotta say, they really nailed it on the Skype ringtone. Every time I hear it, it just makes me happy. All right, DP, where you at? And Steven, Jet, my buddy Steven wants to call in, but he's not online. So let's see, maybe if he has it on his phone, maybe he'll get alerted that I'm calling him. All right. Okay, DP needs a few minutes. He's finishing up a conference call. So I'm going to turn this back on because Hank and I were talking about the chainsaw from Acid Rain Technology. And just really quick, I'm going to unpatch my patch and just take it directly out from the chainsaw so you can hear what I was talking about with like the almost quartet type vibe of it. So let's see here. So that's 3 different sequences going into it. And it's all 4 HP. And it's got the detune, so listen to the character of it change here really quick. And it goes from super saw to super square wave. So yeah, it's really, really useful. And if you have some filters, then you can soften it up. So like some VCAs and filters. So that's what this is what I've done with it now after putting it through a bunch of things. I've multed the signal, put it through a bunch of different VCAs and a bunch of different delays and reverbs and filters. All right, DP said he just finished up a conference call. I hope that was enough time. He said, give me a few minutes. Oh, there he is. Oh, shit, I just hung up on him. Sorry, dude. All right, let's see if this works.
Hey there.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Oh, and now I know who this is. I was like, who's DP?
DB Pollen, that's me.
Yeah, I was just, well, because there was no info on Skype, and it just popped up, and I was like, who the hell is this? Okay, now I know who you are. How's it going, man?
Who I am. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Doing
Good.
very well.
I see that you just built yourself a pretty giant case.
I did, yeah. I did.
Yeah. Give us the dimensions of that thing, because from the pictures that I saw, it looks like it's 5 feet tall.
That's no, not quite that tall. When you put it on top of the table, it's probably a good 7 feet, I would say.
Wow.
But the case itself is 42 inches high, and then of course the requisite 22 inches wide for 104 HP racks.
Okay, I was wondering if it was 104 or 120. It looked a little not thin, but I was like, I don't think it's 120 because it looks kind of tall, and it looked thin for how tall it was. Very monolithic.
It's narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was going to build a rack from scratch, I'd probably go for 168 or something to economize space. But I had these rails already, and I just pulled them out of. I had 6 different cases going on, and it was getting to be a hassle looking for modules installed in which case and
6
interconnecting
cases?
them. And yeah. Well, I built. Well, come on, it's the typical modular rabbit hole. So you build this 6U case, and you figure, oh yeah, I'm done. Oh, nope, one module won't fit in. So let's build another 6U. Oh, I got just a few left over. I'll build a 3U. And then it gets to 6 cases later, and you're going, where the friggin' is
Okay, so you built most of them. You weren't out there buying a bunch of different, like an IntelliGel and a Make Noise case and.
No, the only case that I have that I've purchased is a 42 HP lunchbox IntelliGel, which I love. But everything else I built, including the furniture, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else is new, man?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. So I kind of I built the case obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So and I tell you, it's an absolute godsend being able to have every module that I own in front of me. And it's 2 cases now actually. Mm-hmm. So I have another smaller 12U case off to the side, which has all my percussion modules. Because literally, I filled up this big case. And then I realized, shit, I haven't installed a single percussion module. So I put them all in another case. So I did that, and then kind of ironically enough, I decided to pull the trigger on an Ovation Peak.
Oh.
So Austin Karen, our Benny's been telling me how wonderful it is and everything, and I decided to go ahead and try it out, and so literally on the same day, I got 3 new synthesizer stuff in. I got a Peak, and I got an NDLR, and then Ben's module, DivKid's module.
Oh, the Oct. I love that thing.
Yeah.
I've been using that
fun.
a lot. Yeah, it's been for those of you watching the live stream who've been here for a few minutes, I just played a little thing that I made on Chainsaw, and because Chainsaw is a super saw to super square, I put it through filters a lot, but I've kind of haven't found the right modulation source for what I've been after, and the Oct has actually been that, just because the different speeds, but having them not be like synced up, it just makes it sound more organic. Yeah, I'm really digging it.
Yeah, I found that combining the Oct with something like a Levitate, which is an 8-channel attenuator, a 10-inverter actually / mixer, is really good because you can still get some fast LFOs going in Oct, and then still have the super slow ones through attenuation. So when you pair that up with an attenuator, it's really, really fantastic. You get a lot more variations.
And on stuff like CV sources, I rarely use the CV in. I think it's maybe just because I'm only 2 years in. So, but this has been I've been using the CV in on the Oct a lot, and that just it's just a very well designed module, and it's 4 HP, so it's super tiny. You get 8 LFOs. Yeah. What's crazy? I feel like I'm starting to do an ad for it, but I just really, if this isn't an ad, I really just do really like it. But if in its slowest mode, the 8th LFO, which is the slowest of the LFOs, has a 25-minute cycle.
That's what I've heard. I haven't timed it, obviously, but that's what I've heard. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. And actually, I think it was your video that I watched that you said you turn it all the way down and it acts as a sample and hold. I did not know that.
Oh,
So
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I thought it was your video that you showed that, right?
I may have accidentally happened upon that. I don't know if I said that. Because my video was just like I didn't talk in it. It was just like a video of it playing. But yeah, it totally does do. And it's great for like if you want to make a 25-minute ambient kind of generative type sounding thing. It's if you had 2 of these, you'd be an ambient machine.
Yeah, I totally agree. I used to use I still do use the Batumi for this, but it doesn't go that slow, and you only have 4 channels, and it's a lot of tweaking. This one is just plug and play and instant ambience when you put it into your effects. It's great. Yeah.
It's really, really nice to put this really slow, like the last 2 into the 2 CV ends for the time on the Chronoblob 2, and then put it in tape mode, and then it's just you can get some real so that patch that I uploaded, I think there was there's a couple moments that only happened once in the entire patch, because that's just this, you only hear the LFO cycle one time, and one of them I don't even think cycles all the way, because I think that video I had it almost all the way down. So in a 9-minute video we didn't even get to hear the full cycle of one of them. It's just crazy to me. But I don't want to hijack your time. What else? What else? Is there anything burning that you wanted to talk about on your call in, or do you just want to chat?
Just basically, I'm working on a couple demo videos, review videos for some modules coming out. Got a couple. I just almost completed a track. I'm just mastering it right now using the Peak, my first one.
Cool.
No modular involved in that, but
okay.
I'm looking really. I think this putting everything into 1 or 2 racks actually is really going to spurn some creativity, because it's just everything is there, and there's, because I find that if I have to go looking for a module, I kind of forget what I needed that module for because it takes so friggin' long. So it's really, I start plugging into this new case, and it's just things flow just that much better, and it's much quicker getting the whole workflow through. So
that's cool.
I just plan on doing that and releasing a lot of videos coming up, and maybe I'm thinking about doing kind of a whole series of mini demo videos on Peaks, the Mutable Instruments Peaks, because I love that module so much that I was going to do like 3-minute videos of all that, of each function, including the Dead Man's Catch functions, and just for people who are interested in Peaks, because I know there's a 1U version out now, and a lot of people are buying that up. So I just want to kind of throw that out there to give people kind of an idea of what it's all about. It's just one of the best modules that I have.
That's funny. So, I've had 2, and I only used it for drums, and I know that's just such a misuse of that module.
Drums are great.
Yeah, they sound great, but I ended up getting rid of them. I'm like, I don't need drums anymore. And it's like, I think it's there's a couple modules that I've had like 3 times, and that might be one of them.
That'll be one.
So what's your what's your YouTube channel, so people can go check it out?
So my YouTube channel is DB Pollen, Delta Bravo Pollen, and my website is ambientvibes.com. I'm up on SoundCloud, and I got a Bandcamp going, and so come on and take a listen. A lot of the stuff on Ambient Vibes is like really old 3-year-old stuff when I first started getting into modular, but I thought about taking it out, but then I figured, it's kind of cool listening to some of the early sounds for modules I don't have anymore,
Very cool. And really quick,
as much as I can.
While I'm thinking about it, your last name is not Pollen, like Poll. It's Pawlan. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So David Pollen, Pawlan.
Pronounced the same, but less sneezing involved.
Right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I'm going to get to the next caller. I really appreciate it, man. This has been a lot of fun doing this.
No problem, Tim. Thanks.
All right. I'll see you at the next event.
Absolutely.
All right. Later.
All right. Bye.
All right, Steven. So I'm going to call my buddy Steven. You've heard me talk about him a lot on the show. If you listen to the show, he's my friend who makes pipe organs for a living. So let's see if he answers this time. I tried calling him a minute ago. It says he's not online. I did text him and tell him he was coming up. I'm going to tell him, get on Skype, dude. Come on. Everybody get on the stream and just yell at Steven. Come on. right. What's up, Cole? Cole just jumped on. Cole was on last night's stream call-in episode. This has been fun. I hope this becomes a thing. If you have enjoyed this, please let me know. Send me a message. And then, if you want, I think what I'll just do is kind of have an open, just message me on Skype at PodMod, and then maybe it would be cool if I had enough messages where I could just start this up and just randomly call people. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, let's call Steven. He's online.
Hello.
Steven, what's up, buddy?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you at work?
I'm at work. My employer's definitely going to come down during this conversation. I haven't seen him all day. He's going to come in right when I'm talking on the phone.
That's right. Just once he comes in, start spouting off some work terms and just be like, yeah, I was calling a colleague or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about what the hell I'm supposed to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into modular, clearly.
Well, I mean,
or I would have said something about it already because it's a modular podcast.
Right.
So I was just like, whatever. I figured Tim would guide us. He's a good host.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, don't you know what we're going to talk about?
What are we talking about?
What am I going to ask you about?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. What do you do for a living? Please tell everybody what you do for a living. You have the most unique fucking job in the world.
I build pipe organs.
And go in. Hold on. Start explaining what that means, and I'll be right back. Just start saying just start describing what you do for a living. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I build pipe organs that are styled after organs in Europe during the Baroque period and a little bit later. And it's interesting. All mechanical, not electrical at all. It's basically the original synthesizer.
Totally. It totally is. I'm back. And the reason I went, and I mean, I don't know exactly what you said, but I'm sure you said that you make pipes for pipe organs. And I just went and got this right here that I'm holding in front of the camera is a pipe that Steven made for Hannah and I for our wedding gift. You can see the holes in the back there, and then the hole in the bottom. He made a wall mount for it to sit, so it's in our hallway. And what note is that?
Look at Tim blow that pipe.
Yeah, I blew that pipe right by. I mouth gilded it. That's called a mouth. That's called mouth gilding. This gold part, right? The gold part is called mouth gilding.
Yeah, I gilded the mouth.
So what are you up to today? Are you melting ingots?
No, my coworkers are. I'm making a set of pipes that are a bunch of harmonics. So when you put them on, they're not the fundamental. It's just a bunch of harmonics to give the sound of the organ color.
Okay. Now I'm going to go hang this back on the wall. Start telling people about the process of building an organ from start to finish. You do everything there, right? In your shop?
We do.
Okay, I'm going to go hang this on the wall.
Well, I mean, of course, somebody commissions an organ from us. It takes about a year on an average size organ, and these are the big cathedral kind that are a couple stories tall. And we just do all of the craftsmanship in-house, starting from wood in the rough all the way to the moldings and gildings and melting down the ingots of metal and making pipes. And then we voice it up and tune it and take it apart and send it to wherever it's going to go, and then build it back up and tune it, and then it's done.
So you build it, you construct the materials in-house, build the organ in-house, make sure it works, tune it, take it apart, and then go build it. I mean, recently over the last year, you went to Chicago and New York, right? Probably more.
I've been to New York. I haven't been to Chicago. I went to Ohio. Like earlier last year to install one of the organs that we were working on, and then we of course completed the organ since then. Now we're working on 3 like house organs, so much smaller.
Yeah, those are sweet. I liked that. If you go on my Instagram and go back to like what, I don't know, a month ago,
something like that. When was your
I don't remember now.
Show?
Was that in October? It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
No,
it was in
your show.
It was in December
with Eric Schlappy.
Yeah, Eric Schlappy and Daniel Miller. Anyways, just go scroll through my Instagram, and we stayed the night at Steven's house afterwards because it was down in Tacoma, and then we went to his shop, and there's some video of Steven playing an organ and Eric Schlappy playing an organ, and I've got pictures. I want to do like a video of like a walkthrough, like the tour that you give us. I want to like video it and put it on my YouTube because it's absolutely fascinating. It's the only fascinating thing about you.
I know, I'm fucking boring. Like I don't know how to be interviewed either. Yeah, no, there's nothing really to see, so you're just gonna have to wait for that.
Yeah, what else? How many pipes are in an organ?
Depends on the organ, of course.
Yeah,
on an average size, an average size organ, I don't know, 2,000. 2,000.
So, like, if we go into a church and we've got like, you know, an organ that's, you know, as big as a 2-story house.
Yeah.
We're looking at pipes that are at the biggest probably 8 to 10 inches in diameter, and then the smallest centimeters in diameter.
Oh, millimeters in diameter.
Millimeters.
Like right now. So right now, the set of pipes that I'm working on, it's I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean it's like, let's see, about like 3 millimeters in diameter is the very smallest ones, maybe 5.
And they're what, like less than an inch long?
Yeah, they're like a half inch long.
So,
and then of course, like you can have the huge pipes that are like 32 footers.
And what's the diameter on those?
Could be like up to 2 feet, depending on what kind of pipe it is and what it's for.
Really, 24
I mean,
that's
wow. That's an extremely large scale pipe. Like most organs don't have that kind of pipes in it. It's more like a foot.
Okay.
The biggest ones on an average organ.
And so here we have thousands of pipes ranging from let's just say 12 inch diameter, which is huge, to millimeters, and 30 feet long down to, you know, under an inch long. Yeah. Now those aren't all being activated at one time. That's what the stops are for, right? You see the levers on the side, so that pulls different airways open to access the different pipes.
Yeah, so essentially,
I love that you giggled. You're like, this fucking guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
but it's funny. Like, I giggled because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I like instantly was like foot and mouth because I'm like, I don't know how to fucking describe it. Yeah, like, so each in a stop of pipes, there's one pipe per each key on the keyboard. And so each keyboard in an average organ is about 60 keys per keyboard. It's a little bit smaller than a piano. And so when you pull out a stop, you're activating essentially one pipe per key. And so the more stops you pull out, the more pipes are engaged. And if you pull out all of the stops, you're going to be playing all of the pipes.
And that's where the term pull out all the stops comes from.
Yeah.
Just really getting after
pull out all the stops.
Sweet. And you guys are you that one that we played, are you still working on it, or you're done with it? That, like the refurbish or whatever. The what do you?
Oh yeah, that.
What's the fancy word you guys use?
We restored.
Restored it. That's fancier.
Super fancy word.
Mm-hmm.
Restored. Yeah, we restored it. It's done. It's just sitting there waiting to be sold. But we sell new organs, so we don't know how to sell that organ. Apparently, it's just sitting there.
So that organ that I climbed up in, I think it was over maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah,
now.
it was like a year ago.
Oh, it was a year ago?
No, it's about a year ago.
Okay. I'm bad with time. How much, if one of the listeners wanted to buy that organ that we literally climbed up into on ladders, what is that going to run? What does that run you?
I mean, $1 million, $2 million.
Jesus.
That was very fancy. That one had like curved moldings, gold on everything, embossed pipes. That was kind of like primo, that one.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, that.
It's nuts.
But you're gonna spend on a house organ, you're gonna spend at least $100,000. Richie Rich.
Yeah, no shit. Can I get a discount?
No.
As if a discount on a
such thing.
$100,000 instrument would be of any use to me. Maybe if I start a organ podcast, I can get.
I think there is a organ podcast, and I can only imagine that it's the lamest podcast on earth.
Oh, I bet it's. I mean, I bet it's so awesome. What would it? All right, what would it?
Pipe organ.
What would it be called? The Organ Trail.
This blows. This blows.
This blows. Mouth gilled my pipe.
Mouth gilding and blows.
Oh, so good. Oh man, what time do we got? Oh shit, we're coming to an hour. Let me just make the live stream is still going. Instagram kicks you off after an hour if you live stream for an hour, and I think.
Oh, so am I about to just get kicked off?
I don't think
Sounds
so.
like a hate crime.
I think we got I think we've got 6 minutes. What else is going? So also, if you guys have heard me talk, Steven's house is where we go and have our jam sessions.
Spirit quests.
Spirit quests. Steven did the Steven did the artwork for the outer jacket of my album, Music to Come Down To. Let's see. I can't see if I'm holding it very well in front. But yeah, we go and do our spirit quests and our jams, and you got a baby grand piano and a harpsichord, and you got rid of your bass flute, which I'm really bummed out about.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't doing anything with it.
Hannah was tearing it up,
change. Well, she has a flute.
Yeah, she has a
Where's
flute.
her flute?
It's here, and she also has a theremin, which
I know. The theremin is that's more up her alley. She can fucking play that thing naturally.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun to bring the modular setup. Someday I would. I mean, we've been talking about doing an album. I think if we do that, I'm gonna bring. I hope Eric Needham isn't listening, but I'm gonna bring the Needham case down with me, so I can just have everything at my disposal.
Yeah, we've got to do piano and modular.
Hell yeah!
We've been talking about it. We just have to do it at some point.
I know. I need to. I mean, we've recorded jam sessions. I have them on my little Zoom recorder. I gotta find them. I gotta get a specific card for that and bring it down because I've got so much shit. It would take forever to find it, but someday.
Yeah, we'll make it work. It's really fun talking about it too. So until then, we'll just keep saying that we're gonna do it.
It is pretty fun to be like, we should do this and we should do this. I do want to come down there with my Zoom recorder and record some stuff on that restored organ that you have before you guys sell it.
Yeah,
I think it would be good sample fodder.
There's all sorts of things that we can make it sound really cool, like changing the wind pressure and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
like prepared piano, but prepared organ.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. Put a bunch, just like get a handful of paper clips and just throw it in there.
Just throw it in there.
Throw it into this $1 million. Your boss will love that.
Oh my God. My boss still hasn't walked in. Actually, a couple people walked in, but I'm also still actively like doing work. Like I'm actually scraping seams on the pipes before I round them right now. And I'm sure they were like, what the fuck is he doing over there?
I'm just, doing a call-in show for an obscure podcast about a really niche. Yeah. How big's your soldering iron? I don't know if it's going to be
fucking huge.
Yeah. So for the listener, it looks like a small hatchet. Like it even like the actual iron part actually looks like a little hatchet. And then your pieces of solder are what, like 2 inches in diameter, probably?
No, they're not quite that big, but they're like these sticks that are like maybe if you put 3 pencils together. That's how thick
okay.
they are.
Like a little bigger than a drumstick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.